Today for New Music Monday, we're going to check out the brand new release from Queens of the Stone Age, and it's called Like Clockwork. This is the band's first album in about 6 years, and their first as a formal quartet, as Dean Fertitta and Michael Schumann are now official members of the band. At the same time, this album is a bit of a return to the earlier days of the band, as drummer Joey Castillo only appears on 3 tracks here, with the rest of the drumming being handled by Dave Grohl and Joe Theodore. You'll also hear big-time contributions from everyone ranging from Nick Oliveri to Mark Lanigan to Trent Reznor, and even Sir Elton John is on this record. So when it comes to the overall diversity on this album, it has a lot to do with the slightly revolving door of musicians they have. However, from the first notes of this record, it becomes obvious that the band is going to take a slightly different musical direction than fans might have expected, as this album is far more about mood than it is about volume. Queens of the Stone Age have written some of the finest, most in-your-face hard rock songs of the past decade plus, but don't go expecting that to be the norm here, because it just isn't. I can't say enough that this isn't necessarily a bad thing for the band, as there's plenty of intensity and sonic beauty to be found on these songs, but it's almost always done in more restrained, atmospheric ways. Yes, the band does let loose and rock out from time to time here, but on this album, it's more the exception than the rule. That being said, the lead single, My God Is the Sun, is absolutely one of the best songs on the album, and it's probably one of the finest in the entire catalog of this band, and it's definitely going to demand lots and lots of plays at maximum volume. And while that song is great and all, for me the most rewarding parts come when you hear the band really pushing their musical boundaries and stepping into new territory. The song Collapsia is simply beautiful, and the moods and the hills and valleys of intensity that you find here are absolutely superb. And the way that this song leads into Fairweather Friends is fantastic. And honestly, this song might be the most complete that the band has ever recorded, as it totally surrounds you and yet it doesn't become overwhelming at any point. In general, Like Clockwork seems to be a display of the musical maturity that the band has achieved over the last half-decade, and they seem to finally be comfortable with the idea of turning things down a bit and concentrating on creating more complex and diverse sonic arrangements than we've ever heard before. It's also the overall clear commitment to mood that you hear all across this record that makes it so rewarding. To be honest though, it's hard not to draw very big comparisons between this album and Dead Boy and the Elephant Men's We Are Night Sky. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing or a slam on either band, it's just the point that this is a sound and a style that's been done very well before by another band. In the end, this is definitely the sort of record that you're going to have to listen to a number of times before you pass any judgment. You really need to let these songs sink in and get the end-to-end flow that they're trying to create. And it's at that point that the creative direction the band was aiming for becomes clear. This is a very good album, but don't expect it to blow you away, because it won't, because honestly, it's not supposed to. It's going to draw you in and completely swallow you and take you to a brand new musical world. And honestly, this record is enjoyable from end to end, and on the buy it or borrow it, this is definitely a buy it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, leave a comment, click like, whatever you want to do. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow.